Good day, everyone. So, our subject for today is meteorology. So, the topic that I'll be discussing to you all is surface and upper level charts. Why is surface and upper level charts important? First, let's talk about surface charts. So, when we say surface chart is a weather map that shows what is happening at the Earth's surface or ground level. So this is the weather that we actually feel every day. It shows air pressure, wind direction, temperature, rain clouds, and weather front. So this surface chart shows the atmospheric conditions at Earth's surface or ground level or the lower layer of the atmosphere. So in the surface charts, we'll see letters that are H and L. So H means high pressure and L means low pressure. When we say low pressure areas are usually brings cloudy skies, rain, or storms. And regions or areas with high pressure usually brings clear and calm weather. That is why surface charts are the charts that is used by meteorologists to forecast daily weather. Next is let us discuss about cyclonic flow and anticyclonic flow. So cyclonic flow involves winds spiraling inward around a low pressure center, causing rising air, clouds, and stormy weather. So cyclonic flow is the wind circulation around a low pressure system or a low pressure area or a low pressure region. So the air in the cyclonic flow converges or moves inward and rises. So in the northern hemisphere, the movement or the flow or the circulation of the air is in a counterclockwise, while in the southern hemisphere, it moves clockwise. In cyclonic flow, the movement of the wind is that they move toward the center and spin. Since cyclonic flow is wind circulation in a low pressure system, it means that the weather associated to this wind flow are a cloudy weather, rainy, or possible storms, and at the same time, unstable weather. Next is we have the anticyclonic flow. Anticyclonic flow is the wind circulation around a high pressure system. The air here diverges or moves outward and sinks. So in the northern hemisphere, it flows in a clockwise flow, while in southern hemisphere it moves counterclockwise. So again, anticyclonic flow features winds spiraling outward from a high pressure center, leading to sinking air, which means a clear sky, calm weather, and a sunny weather. Next, let's talk about the image that is presented. So we have images, diba, that is labeled ground and aloft. So ground is mo na siya kumbaga gina-consider as the surface level chart, and then the aloft is the upper level. Aloft is also another term to indicate upper level charts or the upper level of the atmosphere. So as we can see sa surface level charts, we can clearly see the letter H and L, which indicates the high pressure for H and the low pressure for L. We also have the anticyclonic flow and the cyclonic flow. As you can see, anticyclonic, ang movement or ang pag-spiral sa wind is pa-outward. As you can see from the arrows, di ba, nga ginapakita. Well, in the cyclonic flow naman, ang flow sa wind is pa-inward or pasulod. So in the upper part of the picture or semi-olive na part, we can see the jet stream. So jet stream is a wind in the upper level of the atmosphere na very paspas. So as you can see also, may mga parts ang jet stream. We have the ridge, the throw, the convergence, and the divergence. So when we say ridge, it is the northward bulging curve in upper level airflow. So kaning nga curve is often linked to warm, stable air and can bring clear weather at the surface. So it is believed na if ang flow ni jet stream is mag-form og ridge, then it means there is a presence of a warm, stable air. And if na a warm, stable air, then it means na then it means that there is a great possibility that the weather at the surface will be warm and sunny and a clear sky. So next is the throw. So throw is a southward dipping curve in upper level airflow. So opposite naman siya ni ridge. So throw is associated with cooler air and encountered cloud formation. So if throw is present in the jet stream, then there is a tendency that the weather at the surface is cloudy, stormy, or there is a possibility of rain. Next is we have the convergence and divergence. So when we say the upper level divergence, so upper level divergence happens in the low pressure systems. So divergence is the spreading of air is the spreading apart of air in the upper atmosphere. So as this happens, as the air spreads apart, it creates a void or a space. So if a void is created, the air from below rises to fill it up. The more that the air fills up the void that was created, the formation of clouds is possible. That's why the divergence happen in the low pressure systems, and there is a great possibility that clouds will be formed and rain will happen. Next is we have the convergence or the upper level convergence. So upper level convergence is the coming together of the air. So what happens here is the air piles up and sinks downward. So pababa ang movement sa air or ang flow sa air. So as it sinks down, it leads to fair weather, clear skies, and strengthening of surface high pressure systems. So convergence of air occurs in high pressure system or high pressure area or region. So there will be no air from the surface level that will be rising up in the upper level, since in convergence the air piles up in the center and goes and sinks down the surface level or the ground level. So we also have another image that shows the cyclonic flow versus the anticlonic flow. So low pressure is cyclonic flow, counterclockwise rotation, inward ang flow. High pressure is anticyclonic flow, clockwise rotation, and outward flow. Let us now discuss about the upper level charts. So upper level charts shows what is happening high above the ground or in the upper atmosphere. Even though we can totally feel or experience the atmospheric conditions that happens there above, it still greatly affects, or what happens above greatly affects or controls the weather below. So upper level charts show strong winds like the jet stream, just like what I have told you kanina, what I have discussed to you. So and it also shows temperature and pressure at height or different heights. So these charts help meteorologists understand why storms form and why typhoons get stronger. The image attached is the same image that I have presented you kanina and also explained. So I won't be discussing any more about this slide. Next, we have the pressure gradient force. So in meteorology, naasay force. So in weather, because of forces act on air and make it move. So because of force na change or motion ang air. So pressure gradient force by definition or PGF. So PGF is the fundamental force that causes air or fluids to move from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure. So acting perpendicular to contour lines, or what we call the isobars, on weather maps with closer isobars indicating a stronger PGF and faster winds, driving weather patterns and circulation. To further understand what I mean is, let me show you an image. As you can see in the image shows a map or a weather map wherein na ay mga lines or mga curves nga naka-written sa different areas, and in different areas the curves or the curve or the isobars, it is called isobars, is in different nakalayon with each other, or the distance is different. So naay mga areas ng isobars kay close with each other, while na po yung mga areas ng isobars kay far away from each other. So through that image or through these pictures, we can totally say that the closer the isobars are with each other, it means that they have a strong pressure gradient force. So it means stronger geostrophic or gradient winds. While ang kanang mga isobars nga lagi with each other, it means na sila weak nga PGF. So weaker ang winds sa ilaha. So ang winds kay slower. Because the more nga ang isobars are close with each other, it means the changes in the wind is mas evident or mas permanente. Sa isobars man good nga lagyo with each other, far away with each other, ang pag-change sa wind is dili permanente since na may long distance or na ay dagko nga distance between them. So that is all about pressure gradient force. Next is we have the Coriolis force. So by definition, Coriolis force is an apparent force in rotating systems, like Earth, that deflects moving objects, for example wind, currents, and projectiles, to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere, causing curved paths instead of straight ones. So originally, air somehow moves in a straight line, right? But the earth is not in a straight shape, or dili siya rectangle, it is in an oblique shape. So the air needs to adapt to its shape for it to be able to travel to other regions. And the one responsible for that or making it possible is the Coriolis force. So due to Coriolis force, it is it makes moving air curve instead of moving in a straight line. So it does not start the wind hub, but it only changes the direction of the wind. Instead of just going on a straight line, it can curve instead. So sa northern hemisphere kay ang wind mo bend pa right, sa southern hemisphere naman ang wind kay mo bend pa left. And then air, kung dili tungod sa Coriolis force, air would not be able to move in a curved form. The air could only move in a straight line. Next is we have the straight line flow aloft, or what we call the geostrophic winds. So geostrophic winds are winds that blow straight and parallel to the isobars. When the pressure gradient force and the Coriolis force are equal and opposite, geostrophic winds happens. So, ang key characteristics ni geostrophic winds is that geostrophic winds flows parallel to the isobars. So, ang isobars sa geostrophic winds or ang gina-follow or ang flow sa isobars is nearly straight. Kumbaga, dili siya pa-curve because geostrophic winds just flows parallel or pa-straight. It doesn't flows in a curve form. Yes, ingon na siya nga klase sa wind. Basta ang forces ani niya nga present is there is a balance between the pressure of the gradient force and the Coriolis force. So next is we have the gradient winds. So gradient winds are winds that flow around curved isobars near highs and lows aloft, where three forces are balanced. These three forces are pressure gradient force, Coriolis force, and centrifugal force. Due to the presence of the centrifugal force in gradient winds, it curves or it flows in a curved form in a isobar of a curved isobar. So that is all about my discussion about the upper level charts and the surface level charts. I hope you've understood something and you have learned. Thank you so much for listening.